Hi there, this video's a live, very extreme cost of living. Prizes questions video, UK 23. Like this video, please a thumbs up, time to mode and distance at the mode. And look, it's approximately nearly 12 midday PM in the afternoon. And it is the, wow, you name it, Wednesday, April the 19th of 2023. So here we go, guys. Politics, it's live. Hines questions right this minute, guys. Let's listen in. Here we go. It's just about to start in a few minutes' time.
8% in our economy that will add. That will not help us with the cost.
Hang on, yeah, let Tim finish his point.
Interesting, I think what explains the figures at the moment is in this country, historically, we've always had very cheap food. So actually, we have really good big supermarkets who negotiate really good margins. So you can say that's to the harm of farmers and others.
This is live right now.
Really low food prices already, and then you have the weather conditions as well as fuel prices and everything.
Except
we are more susceptible to that, which I think explains the difference.
Clearly, but to the disappointment of consumers, households, and voters here.
See about midday. We go midday. 12 p.m. I told you.
Things that are going up. So
just about.
This food. Also, housing costs have gone up 25%. And we know why that is. I mean, part of it is because of that budget that you're referring to with...
You'll find next year this government will be generous and reduce the costs of tax and everything else, guys, because it's an election next year. Yeah, it's an election year next year. So my advice is, if you can, save some money if you can. Otherwise, it's a very hard year for a lot of people out there. And I'm sick of this government. Why is it some people are getting a pay rise and other people ain't getting it? Everyone should get a pay rise. This is not a fair country, is it? It's disgusting, this Conservative Party.
Absolutely. So the only way you're actually going to tackle this is wage increase.
No, they're the potholes on the roads.
You mentioned wages.
They're a joke, aren't they?
Prices will still be rising. They'll just be rising more slowly. But if we look at the Times quickly before PMQ starts, stalling wages leave British workers 3% more.
I'm not joking.
We're going into the change.
There's some fishermen fishing nonsense out of a pothole on one of the roads in Surrey locally. I'm not joking.
It's an opportunity to thank some of the leading architects of peace for their
Boo!
they played to set the groundwork for a better future for the people of Northern Ireland. We will also commemorate those who are no longer with us.
They're like you.
Mr. Speaker, this morning I had meetings with ministerial colleagues and others in addition to my duties in
You
this
put
House.
pressure on the local
Further such meetings later today.
counties
Mr. Speaker,
and
we're
boroughs.
in the middle of a housing crisis.
Evil
with
Sunak.
mortgages soaring, rents rising, and house building set to a post-low.
And lots of strikes as well.
Last week, with an interview with the Conservative Home, the Prime Minister admitted his disastrous decision to drop housing targets to appease Tory party members. Can the Prime Minister please explain to the House why the views of 1,000 members are more important to aspiring homeowners families across the country?
Well, Mr. Speaker, on this side of the House, we believe in empowering local communities to make the decisions that are right for them and to protect their green spaces. And the place where most acutely where house building is not keeping up with need is in Labour-controlled London.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's been reported that the Welsh Labour government is going to incentivise people smugglers by offering £1,600 of taxpayers' money every month to asylum seekers. Can I ask my right honourable friend for an assurance that he will never contemplate such a daft idea in our small boats bill?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I know my noble friend Lord Bellamy and the Secretary of State for Wales wrote to the Welsh Government yesterday confirming that we would not be undertaking their request. Now, I know that the Labour leader has said that the Welsh Labour Government is his blueprint. And unbelievably, as my honourable friend said, Labour in Wales are trying to pay illegal migrants £1,600. Mr. Speaker, we're stopping the boats. Labour's paying for them.
Now come to the leader of the opposition, Keir Starmer.
Yay!
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Tory party chair says that public services are in pretty good shape. Has the Prime Minister met a single member of the public who agrees with him?
Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, because of the record investment that we're putting into public services like the NHS, we're now getting waiting lists down.
No, you're not.
Reforms that we've made to our education.
No, you're not.
More children are studying.
Don't type Pinocchio lies.
Because that's what you get with a Conservative government. More funding, more
Boo.
better outcomes for Britain.
He's living in another world to the rest of us. People waiting more than 2 days from an ambulance because they broke the NHS. Only 100 rapists going to court because they broke the criminal justice system. A record number of small boats crossing the channel because they broke the asylum system. People can't afford their bills, can't get the police to investigate crimes, can't get a doctor's appointment. Does that
Can't even afford to vote.
like pretty good shape?
Does it sound pretty good, Prime Minister? No. Sorry, Sunak, you are the weak link.
What's the record since 2010? Since 2010, crime down by 50% under the Conservative government, Mr. Speaker. 20,000 more police officers, we've given them more powers, and we've toughened up sentencing, all opposed by...
Pinocchio lies again.
Mr. Speaker, either the Prime...
Give him a chance. Give him a chance to
Our
talk.
constituents want to hear the question and the answers. What I would say, you'll progress questions beyond. The Prime Minister wants to leave early, along with the Leader of the Opposition. Help me to help them.
Yes. Mr. Speaker, either the Prime Minister doesn't use the same public services for the rest of us, or he simply can't see the damage they've done to our country. In 2019, Ariel Lee, a convicted people smuggler, threw boiling water over a prison officer, leaving him with first-degree burns. The prison officer said it felt like acid.
It would.
His face was on fire. His attacker was found guilty, received a prison sentence, quite right in my view. Does the Prime Minister agree?
Well, Mr. Speaker, while record is clear on sentencing, it was this party and this government that passed the Sentencing Act last year. It toughened up sentences, and the average custodial sentence has now increased since 2010 by almost 2/3. For child sex abusers, it's up by 15 months, and for rapists, it's up by 2 years. And when our Sentencing Act ended the automatic early release of offenders who pose a danger to the public, it was the Labour Party who voted against it.
Well, the problem is, Prime Minister, Ariel Lee's sentence ended up being suspended. And anyone watching this would wonder why someone who violently attacks a key worker isn't behind bars. Well, the court judgment spelt it out. It's because it took 16 months for the attacker to be charged. That's ridiculous. And it took another 2 years before he was sentenced.
Too right, too slow as usual.
Unacceptable. Can't the Prime Minister see that because they've lost control of the court service, because they've created the largest court backlog on record, he's letting violent criminals go free?
Crooked Prime Minister, Mr. Sunak.
We're cracking down on grooming gangs, and he's uncomfortable, Mr. Speaker, he's uncomfortable addressing. We toughened the law on sex offenders so they spend longer in prison. He voted against it, Mr. Speaker. And we've increased rape convictions by over 60%. Meanwhile, he attended 21 sentencing council meetings to water down punishments. That's why they call him the softie. Soft on crime, soft on criminals.
Mr. Speaker, I prosecuted thousands upon thousands of sex offenders. He's just shown he doesn't understand how the criminal justice system works.
Of course he doesn't.
No wonder he can't fix it. And he thinks that cracking down on crime is suspending a sentence where someone should be in prison. That shows the problem. And another reason, Mr. Speaker, another reason cited by the court for suspending the sentence in Ariel Lee's case was a letter from the Justice Secretary in February about prison overcrowding. As a result of that letter, courts have been told to have awareness of the impact of current prison population levels when passing sentences.
Aye.
In simple terms, the wrecking ball the Tories have taken to criminal justice means that thousands of people who should be in prison aren't. The court also said, he shakes his head, he should read the judgment. The court also said that it's for the government to say when prison conditions return to a more normal state. Now, I know the Justice Secretary has been busy trying to save his own job rather than actually doing it.
Yeah,
But
piece of
has
shit
the
he
Prime
is.
Minister asked him when he's going to get a grip on the prison system and withdraw that letter which is allowing criminals to walk free?
Mr. Speaker, we're in the process of building 20,000 more prison places. That's what this government is delivering, because we're toughening up sentencing and putting more people behind bars and making sure that our most serious offenders...
You're falling, Richard Sunak. You're falling.
I love it when he talks about his record as a lefty lawyer, Mr. Speaker, because I was looking at this, because when he was there, I read, he's quoting things, I read that people were really disappointed that his organisation let down victims. That wasn't even my assessment. That was his shadow Attorney General.
I want to get through these questions, so do my constituents. If there's any member whose constituency aren't interested, please leave the chamber. Keir Starmer.
Well, Mr. Speaker, when I was in office as Director of Public Prosecutions, those benches migrated to supporters. In 2013, the Home Affairs Select Committee said, we would like to commend the work of the Director of Public Prosecutions, Keir Starmer. He's striven to improve the treatment of sexual assault.